Sir, namaskar, pranam, johar. Sir, many honorable learned colleagues have already spoken on various issues concerning the demand for grants of the Ministry of Home Affairs 2017 on topics such as Naxalism, extremism, encounter death figures, expenditure of the Nirbhaya account, modernization of police force, border policing, blah, blah, so many things they have talked about. I wish to refrain from the usual discourse and use this opportunity to speak on two pillars of any society that feels it is civilized. Sir, what is the difference between a civilized society and an uncivilized barbaric society? Very simple to, as I understand, it's my personal perception. Just two things differentiate us. One is your judiciary, your judges, your legal system. And the second is the police, the law enforcement authorities or the bodies that are deputed to work to enforce law. These two things divide two very extreme ends of society. Our long, rich heritage, I would add rich heritage of subjugation, has left very deep and indelible societal scars on all of us. When we look at our judiciary, we hear of the CBI investigating relatives of very senior judges, of how a certain judge of the Calcutta High Court has been hauled up under contempt of court charges and has been served with an arrest warrant, how he in turn has demanded 14 crores from the 7 members of a Supreme Court bench. And I'm not commenting on who is right or who is wrong. I'm just saying that this is showing the collapse of one of our most critical systems, that which, exclusively due to the carelessness of men who operate this system and who should be setting exemplary standards of personal behavior, they are bickering and fighting amongst themselves, which sends out a very wrong message to society. Next, coming to the police. As of now, the average Indian is incapable of understanding whether the police is a service or the police is a force. Our police, as far as I understand, the little bit of interaction I have been unfortunate enough to have with our police officers, whether they are IPS officers or state police officers, they all consider themselves as a force. They do not think they are here for a service. Our police establishment, especially its leaders, the IPS, the Indian Police Service officers, have failed miserably over the years to change this perception within their rank and file, within their subordinates, that you are here because of the people, that your salary comes from the taxpayers' money. And I have a sneaking suspicion this has happened because they do not depend on their salaries. The moment they started depending on their salaries, they would actually think, who is our master? But since they do not depend on it, they do not have to bother.
Where do they get the money?
Sir, that is for others to decide, the government to decide. I'm quite conscious while saying this that it is easy to blame others, but all, and I'm saying all, A-L-L, all political dispensations, whether it is Congress-led, whether it is BJP-led, whether it is a regional party-led, nobody is an exception. Every political dispensation has felt comfortable by using the police for its own particular ends. They feel that, like the British did for 200 plus years, to subjugate the average Indian with the lathi, Today, we also opt, very easily we fall into the rut, and we want to use the police as our personal force that we can use when we are in government. When we go over to the other side, when we sit in the opposition, then we shriek and shout. But when we are in power, we forget the injustices that are meted out to the people, the average citizen of this country. India is a rare country where an average citizen, when she or he sees a police personnel, the first feeling is of fear, there is an adrenaline rush, and there is a fear, and there is a desire to run away. I think except a handful of African and South American countries, all across the world, if you see a policeman, you feel safe. Here in India, if you see a policeman, and I am not trying to bring in the army or the paramilitary forces, because then it's easy to be labeled an anti-national. Either you are a Bhakt or you are a Pakistani. So I'm not a Pakistani, and I wish to be a Bhakt, but I am failing to live up to my standards. But the policeman does not instill confidence in the minds of the people, in the minds of the common citizen. I will give a small couple of examples. Whether it is a Maninder Singh Pandher brutally killing children and mutilating them and walking scot-free in this country, or it is a Calico Pull suicide note which has absolutely gone underground, under wraps, maybe purposefully manipulated for investigations. Or interestingly, the CVC, the apex body that is supposed to stop corruption in this country, the CVC's website crashing last November, the historic month, November 2016, and wiping out, interestingly, wiping out all details of corrupt officials from across the country. I thought for an instant, somebody told me it doesn't matter if the hard disk fails or if the website crashes, they would still have a backup of files. But you will be amazed to know, sir, there is no backup of files. Because when you dream of a digitization of the country, you obviously want to keep paper away. And in the process, we are creating new kinds of trouble. We have to understand that whether it is high-tech or low-tech, there has to be human interface. A technical apparatus or a technical system does not operate of its own. The world hasn't come to that level of artificial intelligence where robots will be controlling a country or the law and order system. So when you are dreaming of a When you are dreaming of a digital India, you also have to dream how to make society more peaceful, how the police force can be more pro-people. You are talking about ease of doing business, which is a very welcome thought. And I must congratulate the Honorable Prime Minister because he has thought of this. No, because the thought is good. But how do you embolden that thought? That is something that we are forgetting. Because when you are talking about ease of doing business, it is very important to have a society which is peaceful, which is welcoming, which is at ease with itself. Can you, sir, imagine any corporation, any multinational company planning to invest in a country like, say, Syria, Iraq, Afghanistan, Libya? Can we ever imagine that? No. Nobody wants to go there. Primarily because they all want to have a peaceful society and a peaceful country where they can do business. I would wind up that we have a police force that operates in the guidelines and the code of something that was drafted in 1861. You are a young person, sir, but you also do not know what 1861 was like and who was ruling in whatever that time India was. And it is operating. It is guided by something, the police force, the police act that was drafted in 1861. It is working under the Criminal Procedure Code and the Indian Penal Code, which is of equal antiquity. We can imagine how easily these systems can adapt to a digitized world. The present-day Indian police system, which was first conceived by the British rulers and was meticulously designed, structured and honed to enforce law and public order for sustaining their foreign rule, still continues in India of 2017.
अब आप समाप्त करें.
At the end, समाप्त करो. On your orders, sir, and giving respect to you, I would just like to point out two small points. I have seen many a times when a new SP is posted in my district, the first thing the fellow does, the young officer does, is go out in an open jeep with 5-6 people sitting at the back, big lathis, and you know what they do, sir? They beat up all the truck drivers, the cleaners, the helpers, and the daily laborers who go to dhabas to eat late at night because the whole day the poor people are working. They do this for about 15-20 days. Then there is an atmosphere that is created. Arey, bada tagda SP aa gaya. Then they sit back. Then you know, sir, what is the next step? Then they check out which are the profit-making thanas, police stations. Then you start the auctioning process. You want to be the IIC in this police station? This is your initial payment. This will be your monthly quota. And this is across the country. So today, how much can we talk about giving money for police modernization, walkie-talkies, jeeps, guns? What about the humane angle to police? Sensitization is a must. The central government needs to take up this charge of sensitizing the police regarding how they should handle both criminals and victims. And unless you do that, whatever money you apportion off for anything, it is a total wastage, and it is a shame for taxpayers like me that my money is being wasted. Thank you, sir.